So the 2026 edition of the Investing in African Mining Indaba has come and gone here in Cape Town at the International Conference Centre. More than 12,000 people came to Cape Town to talk about deal making, responsible mining, safety, and also some of the most pressing issues geopolitically affecting mining and global deals as far as mining and trade with Africa is concerned. One of the countries at the center of this discussion is Zimbabwe, where particularly critical minerals and also precious metals has been thrust into the spotlight in as far as Zimbabwe's relationship with global powers, and also in Southern Africa, how African countries can start talking more with a unified voice. We spoke to Standard Bank's representative in Zimbabwe to find out what it is that investors are asking about Zimbabwe and if it's easy to do business in that country. Tanya, thanks very much for joining us. What are the main issues people are discussing around investments in mining in Zimbabwe here at Mining Indaba, and what's driving those discussions?
So what we are picking is that we have managed to attract massive investments into the mining sector in Zimbabwe, and it's mainly being driven by the green energy agenda that continues to accelerate. Zimbabwe is Africa's largest producer of lithium, and lithium is a very critical component to the green energy discussions that are trending in the world. So what we are seeing is it's attracting a lot of investment from foreign investors. We are seeing China on our grounds investing in lithium. We are seeing investors from Europe, and others from America even making inquiries. So we are really excited about that as a country. What we are also seeing is there is some sort of interest in the gold sector as well. I think mainly being driven by the firm commodity prices of gold, which have really been taking an upward trend. We are seeing a lot of investment coming through in the gold sector as well.
What are the main issues investors are asking when it comes to mitigating risk, and how do they navigate it? Because there's obviously a lot of talk about how companies invest and making sure that local communities also benefit.
So it's obviously to do with currency volatility. Those are some of the issues which are being highlighted by investors when they come through into Zim. But the manner in which they've been navigating it is currently our country, we're actually operating in a multi-currency regime. So we do allow the use of other currencies, stronger currencies like the American dollar, which is very prominent in Zimbabwe. So what we are seeing is that investors then enter into US-based contracts, and they do ensure that even their payments are even made in that stronger currency as well. That's how they've really been managing it. The other issue is to do with infrastructure gaps that we have as a country. But what we are seeing is for those that have invested in the mining sector, they are putting up their own, in the case of power, we do experience power shortages. They are putting up their own renewable energy plants to augment power supply.
What has been the interest in the Zimbabwe mining sector here at Mining Indaba? You know, has it been? Is it new? Is it? Is there a new world as far as mining interest in Africa is concerned because of critical minerals?
Especially because of the critical minerals. And I was telling you earlier that lithium is actually an important component in the green energy agenda. We are seeing a lot of interest that's really coming up, a lot of inquiries. Investors are interested in coming through to Zim to invest in the lithium sector. And as financial institutions, we are ready to also support the development of that sector as well, so that we position our country as a hub of green energy technologies.
Tanya, so as a financial institution, how does the Standard Bank CIB assist clients navigate the landscape when it comes to investing in Zimbabwe?
Okay, so as Standard Bank operating in Zimbabwe, we do have facilities that we offer investors, like the custodial services for any of their securities. We actually call it investor services. So it is a unit that we actually have, a fully fledged unit that's available to keep in custody any securities for investors that may be listed on our stock exchange, the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange. We also assist our investors by giving them market intelligence and insights into what is happening in our market in Zimbabwe to assist them navigate. We also facilitate some of their exchange control applications so that they navigate compliance. We make it easy for our investors by giving them all the necessary guidance and information they require so that they navigate smoothly in Zimbabwe.
Consolidated standards in mining is something that all companies in mining talk about. Regulatory policies from government sometimes help to address that, but as in all balanced scorecards, mining companies often don't police themselves when it comes to responsible behavior in everything from environmental management to the treatment of their staff and also how they conduct themselves within a country's regulatory framework. A new initiative was launched here at Mining Indaba 2026, and we caught up with the representatives of a global company called Coppermark and also the South African Council of Minerals, who is excited about a new initiative, a voluntary one, to try and help companies deal with a scorecard as far as social responsibility is concerned.
What is the relationship between regulation and this voluntary move, particularly for sustainable development and at community level, ensuring that that balance is maintained?
Thank you. So there's no real relationship between the our discussions with our partners, with our stakeholders, in terms of the consolidated standard as such, because it's a voluntary standard. In terms of the United Nations SDG goals, we run campaigns through our different committees to rally in on all the work that our mining houses have done in terms of those goals, in terms of the SDGs. And there's been some really positive case stories. We've got a strategic partnership also with the United Nations Global Compact. And we align to all of the objectives and we track on those just from an internal perspective. I know that the DMPR did release, they partnered or consulted rather the CSIR to do a study on a guideline that they were looking at formulating for the industry to measure how mining houses are doing on the SDGs as such, and to report on SDGs. That's more of a guideline. It's not mandatory yet. So it's really just to track how our country is doing, how the mining industry is doing. But there's no talks of mandatory regulation as such on standards as yet. There's just the common, there's the ISO standards and those are mandatory standards, and also the GRI that many companies use, and then of course other standards. But there's no sort of regulatory stance on the consolidated standard or TSM as such in those frameworks. It's really left to the mining house to utilize the regulatory structures that are available. And as you know, we have a very, very strong legislative backbone, and all of our mining houses comply to that. So that's a given. But in terms of these new frameworks, voluntary frameworks as such, it's really up to the mining house. So we are having those discussions, and a lot of the DMPR are quite affiliated as well with the standards, and particularly with the UN SDG goals. I think that's where they align more than even on the particular frameworks that's available.
From consolidated measurement of mining initiatives to Botswana, where the government of Botswana and the private sectors involved in it are looking at ways to secure the diamond sector for the people of Botswana into the future. We caught up with Debswana here at Mining Indaba 2026 and asked the questions of whether the diamond sector can again be applied for the benefit of communities in Africa.
In Botswana, a diamond is life. Our revenues have dropped by 46%, 2023-2024. And therefore, because in Botswana, a diamond is life, whatever happens to a diamond, the economy will drop, and it has dropped by 3.1. So, if they meet in 2069, it means that the life of our asset is 2069. Today, as I speak to you, looking at the burning platform, if we do nothing, we will cut 32 years out of the life of our assets. In mining language, when we gather together in a room and analyze this situation, we charge ourselves with the responsibility of pinning that down and say, letting it happen is equivalent to treason as a mining engineer who is charged with the responsibility of mining better. So we locked ourselves in a room as a team, an executive team, and took a bold decision and say, decision number one, we are preserving 2069. We are not putting Botswana under such constraints. Decision number two, we draw a line called a cost line, in dotted lines that take us back to 2069 and say, what does it take to go back to 2069 by influencing the cost line and by influencing the revenue line. Now we are here and we are saying to you, can we do it better together? The answer is yes. How does Debswana look like beyond diamonds? Mapping up our future business before we run out of diamonds. We will exist. The decision has been made, we will be in business. Mining a diamond of the future. Demonstrating the legacy of a diamond. Proving that a diamond is indeed forever. So we press that button. We also pressing the price button with brand positioning. How do we position ourselves that of the 80 to 100 million diamonds that are flowing, why don't you buy Botswana first? Because of the character they represent. What is that character? If by definition a diamond is natural, if by definition a diamond is at least 1 billion years and at most 3.2 billion years, what does it represent? And how can we give back to nature? If we claim it's natural, then it must be mined in a manner that restores, preserves, and respects nature. And that's Botswana diamond. Volume. Let's produce what's needed. Because the cost of mining is between $40 and $60. So why burn cash on something that is not going to be bought? It's going to go into the shelf, then you need security for it, then you need storage fee. So let's stop that and produce to the market and to the demand. So leadership has taken a bold step that we are becoming breakthrough leaders. We are going to take the responsibility of the ability and the capability to drive in a bus without an air core. Zone of discomfort. We are moving out of that and we are willing to be uncomfortable. We are willing to try new things. In numbers, what does that mean? It means today, 70% of our focus is on the core business because we still have the market for diamonds. We have the market. We still have diamonds on the ground. So optimize and maximize their value. Mine them efficiently and better, and make sure that you maximize value to create the 30% that I was talking about, which is potential growth, life beyond diamonds. We start now business development and come up with ideas to say, after mining diamonds, what else do we do? What can we leverage from what we have been doing? Partnership, we are miners. We've turned, for the last 57 years or 5 decades, we've turned people into human diamonds. And those with mining or minerals or diamonds, we can come and mine for you in partnership.
That's it for our coverage here from Mining Indaba 2026. I'm Gary Alfonso for Business Day TV.